It's a great joy and pleasure for me to come into your church or into your home to reflect on Advent. Now, there's a song that we hear this time of year that goes, "It's the most wonderful time of the year." Of course, that's about Christmas, but for me, that's true of Advent. Advent for me is an exciting time filled with hope and promise. And in these 4 brief episodes, I'd like to tell you something about why. Now, the word Advent comes from the Latin, and it means coming. And it refers to the coming of Christ into our world, into our hearts, into our lives. And Advent comes to us as an antidote to the insanity of the season around us. We all know the pressures of this time of year, the pressures to have the perfect party, to cook the perfect meal, to buy the perfect gifts, and the pressure that we all have to spend money. The message of our culture so often is, if you love someone enough, you will spend a lot of money on them. All of those pressures combine to make this an insane time of the year. Advent comes to us as a season with a very different message. A message of hope, a message of promise, a message that what is coming is the living Christ. And that message is that Christ is coming to us in 3 senses. In fact, in 3 tenses. During Advent, we prepare for Christ who came, for Christ who comes to us every day of our lives, and for Christ who will come again. In Advent, we remember and we prepare to celebrate how Christ first came into the world some 2,000 years ago. And we prepare and train ourselves to recognize Christ who comes into our lives and into our world every day, often in very surprising ways, sometimes in ways that we completely miss. And we prepare in Advent for Christ who will come again. So we prepare for Christ in 3 tenses: past, present, and future. In each of the next 3 brief episodes, we'll talk about one of those tenses. And each time, I'll invite us to a spiritual discipline related to that. So for now, I invite you to talk and reflect together about this coming of Christ, about the antidote that Advent is to the hectic season, and I invite you into a spiritual discipline, and that is to find a time and a place in your day, every day, to spend 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, preparing for Christ to come and praying, "Come, Lord Jesus. Come, Lord Jesus. Come, Lord Jesus." And as you pray that, to keep your eyes and your heart wide open for the ways that Christ is answering that prayer.